Hey everyone, ready to dive into the incredible world of kidneys. We're going deep today into keeping those amazing organs healthy, and we've got some fantastic medical sources to guide us.
Absolutely. It's amazing how much these little powerhouses do for us.
Right, they're like a non-stop cleaning crew, filtering about half a cup of blood every single minute.
It really is incredible. And it's funny, most people only think about kidneys filtering waste.
Yeah, I guess that's the most obvious thing.
Right, but they actually play a much bigger role than that. They're involved in so many essential functions.
Okay, now you've got me curious. What else are these hardworking organs up to besides filtering out the bad stuff?
Well, think of them as master regulators. They help control your blood pressure.
Oh, wow, so it's not just about the heart.
Nope, kidneys are in the mix too, and they help make sure you have enough red blood cells.
Huh, I never knew that.
Yep, and they even help your body absorb calcium.
So basically, kidney health is about way more than just kidneys themselves.
Absolutely. It's connected to your overall well-being, so taking care of them is crucial.
That makes me want to learn even more about keeping them happy and healthy.
Well, it all starts with some simple lifestyle choices.
Okay, lay it on me.
First up, staying active.
Wait, hold on. You don't mean I have to train for a marathon to keep my kidneys in tip-top shape, do you?
No, not at all. We're talking about finding activities you enjoy and doing them regularly.
Phew, that's a relief. So what, like taking a brisk walk a few times a week?
Exactly. Even 30 minutes most days can make a big difference.
And that's good for my heart too, right?
You got it. Exercise benefits both your heart and blood pressure, and those are both crucial for protecting your kidneys.
Okay, so finding an exercise routine I like is a win-win for my whole body. What else should we be thinking about?
Let's talk about blood sugar. Keeping it in check is especially vital for people with diabetes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Why is that so important for kidney health?
Well, when blood sugar is high, the kidneys have to work extra hard to filter it.
So it's like they're constantly on overdrive.
Right. And over time, that can lead to damage.
Got it. So managing diabetes effectively is like taking some of the pressure off the kidneys.
Exactly. It's about preventing unnecessary stress on them. Early detection and management are key.
Makes total sense. Now, I know we can't talk about health without mentioning blood pressure.
Right. It's a big one.
I've always heard it's linked to heart problems. But how does high blood pressure actually affect the kidneys?
Well, imagine those tiny blood vessels in your kidneys under constant pressure. It's like a garden hose with too much force.
I can see how that would be a problem.
Yeah, over time, that strain can damage the delicate blood vessels in the kidneys, especially if there are other conditions present like diabetes or heart disease.
So it's like a domino effect. One health issue can impact another.
Exactly. It's all connected. So keeping that blood pressure in check is vital for protecting your kidneys.
Okay, what's a healthy blood pressure range then? I need to know what to aim for.
Ideally, you want to be around 1280. That's considered normal.
Okay, and what if it's a little higher than that?
Well, even if you're in the prehypertension range, which is between 1280 and 33989, it's worth making some lifestyle changes to bring those numbers down.
So even slightly elevated readings are a sign to take action.
Absolutely. Your doctor can help monitor your blood pressure and suggest steps like lifestyle modifications or maybe even medication.
Got it. Keeping that blood pressure under control is a top priority. Now, I know we can't talk about health without bringing up everyone's favorite topic, food.
You're right. What we eat plays a huge role in overall health, including kidney health.
So what are the key things we should be focusing on when it comes to diet?
Maintaining a healthy weight is crucial. Carrying extra weight, especially around your belly, increases the risk of conditions like diabetes and heart disease, and those can damage the kidneys.
Wow, it's amazing how all these things are interconnected.
It really is. So along with weight management, following a balanced diet is also key.
Okay, so less junk food, more healthy stuff. What does a kidney-friendly diet actually look like?
Think fresh, whole foods, ditch the processed stuff.
Sounds good to me. Any specific examples?
Oh, tons. Vibrant fruits and vegetables are fantastic. Things like cauliflower, blueberries, and fish.
Yum. Those all sound delicious.
They are, and they're naturally low in sodium, which is another important factor for kidney health.
Okay, less processed food, more natural goodness. Got it.
Now, let's move on to something else that's super important for those kidneys hydration.
Ah, yes, the age-old question. How much water should we really be drinking?
Right, well, you've probably heard the 8 glasses a day rule.
Yeah, but is that really the magic number for everyone?
It's a good guideline, but the truth is everyone's needs are different.
Okay, so how do I know how much water is right for me?
The key is consistent water intake throughout the day, Listen to your body and drink when you're thirsty.
So no need to chug gallons at once. Just keep that water flowing steadily.
Exactly. Water helps flush out toxins and sodium from your kidneys, which is essential for preventing chronic kidney disease.
Wow, so water is like a kidney detoxifier? So this applies to everyone, not just people who already have kidney problems.
It's beneficial for everyone, but for those who have a history of kidney stones, drinking more water is especially crucial.
Interesting. Why is that?
It can help prevent future stone formation.
Got it. Water is a true kidney superhero. Now let's shift gears to a habit we all know is bad for us, smoking.
Ah, yes, smoking is definitely a no-no for overall health, and kidneys are no exception.
How does smoking actually harm the kidneys?
It constricts blood vessels, reducing blood flow throughout the body, including to the kidneys.
So it's like cutting off their supply line.
In a way, yes, and it also significantly increases the risk of kidney cancer.
Yikes, that's scary. So quitting smoking is like giving your kidneys a much-needed break.
Absolutely, and although it takes years to reach the risk level of a non-smoker, quitting at any point still offers significant benefits for your kidneys and your overall health.
So every step toward a smoke-free life counts. Now, I want to touch on something that people might not realize can affect kidney health. Over-the-counter pain relievers.
Oh, yeah, those can be tricky.
I use them all the time for headaches and muscle aches. What's the issue with them?
We're talking about NSAIDs like ibuprofen and naproxen. They're fine for occasional use.
Okay, so what's the problem then?
Well, regular long-term use of these medications can actually damage your kidneys.
Really? I had no idea. I thought they were harmless.
Unfortunately, they can be harmful over time, so it's important to use them sparingly.
Got it. So if I'm dealing with chronic pain, I should talk to my doctor about alternatives.
Exactly. They can help you find options that are safer for your kidneys.
This is a great reminder to always consult our doctors about any medications we're taking, even the over-the-counter ones.
Absolutely. It's a team effort. And speaking of doctors, let's talk about kidney function tests.
Okay, what are those exactly?
They're simple tests that check how well your kidneys are working.
And who should get these tests done?
They're especially important for those at higher risk of kidney damage, like people over 60.
Makes sense. Anyone else?
Yep. Those with a family history of kidney disease or folks with diabetes or high blood pressure.
So knowing your risk factors and getting tested regularly can really make a difference.
Absolutely. Early detection allows for timely intervention, which can slow or even prevent further damage.
It's like catching a potential problem before it becomes a major issue.
Exactly. It's all about being proactive with your health.
Now let's talk about what happens when those kidneys face more serious challenges. What exactly is chronic kidney disease?
It's a condition where your kidneys gradually lose their ability to filter waste and excess fluids from your blood.
And how common is this condition?
More than you might think. It affects over 1 in 7 adults in the United States.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
It is, and the main causes are high blood pressure and diabetes.
So those two health issues really are connected to a lot of problems.
They are. They put a tremendous strain on the kidney's filtering units, leading to their decline over time.
So even more reason to manage those conditions proactively. What happens when the kidneys reach a point where they can no longer function effectively?
Well, in severe cases, when the kidneys can't filter waste properly, dialysis becomes necessary.
Dialysis? That sounds intense. What is that exactly?
It's a life-sustaining treatment that essentially takes over the kidney's filtering role.
So it's like an artificial kidney.
In a way, yes. It helps remove waste and excess fluid from the blood when the kidneys can't do it themselves.
Wow, that's incredible. Are there any other options in these situations?
In some cases, a kidney transplant might be a possibility, but that depends on individual circumstances and finding a suitable donor.
So those are the main options when kidney function is severely compromised. Now, I want to talk about something that I know can be extremely painful. Kidney stones.
Oh, yes, those tiny but mighty troublemakers.
I've heard they can be excruciating to pass. What exactly are they?
Kidney stones form when certain minerals and salts in your urine crystallize and clump together.
So they're like little crystals inside your kidneys.
That's a good way to put it. And yes, passing them can be incredibly painful.
Ouch, that doesn't sound fun at all. But do kidney stones themselves cause any lasting damage to the kidneys?
Not usually. They don't typically lead to chronic kidney disease.
Okay, that's good to know.
However, they can cause acute kidney injury, especially if you're dehydrated or have an infection.
So yet another reason to stay hydrated.
Exactly. Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground already, but are there any other kidney conditions we should be aware of? There are a few others, like glomerulonephritis.
Glomerulonephritis. That's a mouthful. What is that?
Imagine your kidneys are like a filter with tiny pores.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Glomerulonephritis is when those pores get inflamed, making it harder for the kidneys to do their job.
So it's like the filter is clogged?
In a sense, yes, and it can be triggered by several things like infections, certain medications, even autoimmune diseases.
So a variety of things can cause it.
Right, and sometimes the exact cause is unknown.
Huh. So it's a bit of a mystery in some cases.
Exactly, but regardless of the trigger, the key is to manage the underlying condition to prevent further damage to those kidneys.
Makes sense. Early intervention is so important. Now, what about polycystic kidney disease? I understand that one is genetic.
That's right, it's an inherited disorder where cysts grow in the kidneys.
Cysts, what are those exactly?
They're fluid-filled sacs, and in this case, they can interfere with kidney function.
So it's like having little balloons in your kidneys.
That's a good analogy, and unfortunately, there's no cure for polycystic kidney disease.
Oh, that's too bad.
It is, but there are treatments available to manage symptoms and slow down the progression.
Okay, so while it's a challenging condition, there's still ways to improve quality of life.
Absolutely. Regular monitoring, keeping that blood pressure under control, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle can make a big difference.
That's reassuring to hear. This really highlights the importance of understanding our family history and any potential genetic predispositions we might have.
It really does. Now, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier, UTIs.
Right, urinary tract infections. I know they're common, but can they actually impact the kidneys?
Absolute. UTIs usually affect the bladder and urethra,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
but if they're not treated properly, they can spread to the kidneys.
Oh, wow, so that's serious.
It can cause some real problems, so treating UTIs promptly is crucial.
Makes sense. So far, this deep dive has been incredibly informative.
It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you.
I've learned so much already about these amazing organs.
Me too. It's fascinating stuff, and there's even more to come. Welcome back, everyone.
I'm ready for round 2 of kidney knowledge.
Great, we've got plenty more to cover.
Awesome. So where do we go from here?
Well, let's revisit kidney function tests for a moment.
Okay, we touched on them earlier.
Right, and we talked about how important they are for those at higher risk.
Yep, for sure.
But honestly, everyone can benefit from getting those tests done.
Even if you're feeling perfectly healthy.
Exactly.
Really? Why is that?
Think of it as preventative maintenance for your body.
Oh, like a regular checkup for your car.
Yep, exactly like that.
Even if it seems to be running fine.
Right. These tests can pick up on subtle changes in kidney function that you might not notice otherwise.
So it's like a behind-the-scenes look at how our kidneys are doing.
Exactly.
So what do these tests actually involve?
There are two main ones. A blood test that measures creatinine.
Creatinine, what's that?
It's a waste product that your kidneys filter out.
Okay, so the blood test checks for that.
Right. And then there's a urine test.
What does that one look for?
It checks for protein.
Protein in the urine. Is that bad?
It shouldn't be there in large amounts if your kidneys are working properly.
Got it. So if those levels are off, it could be a sign that something's up.
Exactly. It's a signal to investigate further and address any potential issues early on.
Okay, so regular kidney function tests, even if you feel healthy, are a smart move.
Definitely a good idea.
Now let's talk more about medications.
Sure, we touched on over-the-counter pain relievers before.
Right, NSAIDs.
But are there other medications that we should be cautious about?
I'm all ears.
Yes, some prescription medications can also affect kidney function.
Like what kinds of medications?
Certain antibiotics and blood pressure drugs can potentially be a problem.
Okay, so what's the concern with those?
Well, they can be hard on the kidneys, especially if taken in high doses or for extended periods.
So it's all about being mindful of what we're putting into our bodies.
Right, and open communication with our doctors is key.
About all medications, both prescription and over-the-counter.
Absolutely. Your doctor can keep a close eye on your kidney function if you're on any medications that could potentially impact them.
So it's like having a personal kidney advocate.
You could say that.
I like it. Now, I'm curious about lifestyle factors beyond diet and exercise.
Sure. What are you thinking about?
Are there any other things we can do to boost kidney health?
You know, stress management is often overlooked.
Stress, really? How does stress affect the kidneys?
Well, when you're stressed, your body releases hormones that can constrict blood vessels and raise blood pressure.
Oh, so it's that chain reaction again.
Yep. And that puts extra strain on those hardworking kidneys.
So finding healthy ways to manage stress can actually benefit our kidneys.
Absolutely. Taking care of your mental and emotional well-being is just as important as physical health.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
It's all connected.
That's a great reminder to prioritize self-care.
Exact.
Now, I'm wondering about things we should specifically avoid to prevent kidney damage.
Okay, like what?
We've talked about the good stuff, but what about the not so good stuff?
Well, one big one is excessive alcohol consumption.
Alcohol, how does that affect the kidneys?
Alcohol is a toxin that your kidneys have to work extra hard to filter out.
Oh, so they have to go into overdrive?
Pretty much. And over time, heavy drinking can lead to kidney damage.
So moderation is key.
Exactly. Just like with most things in life.
Now, what about other habits to avoid?
Here's one you might not expect. Holding your pee for long periods.
Really? How does that harm the kidneys?
It can actually put pressure on your kidneys and bladder.
Oh, I can see how that would be bad.
Yeah, it increases the risk of infections and other issues.
So listening to our bodies and taking bathroom breaks when we need them is actually a kidney-friendly practice.
That's right, don't ignore those urges.
Good to know. It's amazing how these seemingly small things can impact our health.
It really is.
Now, we've talked a lot about preventing kidney problems,
Right, prevention is key.
but I'm curious about those early warning signs.
Okay, what do you mean?
How can we tell if something might be wrong with our kidneys, especially in the early stages?
That's a great question. And unfortunately, early stage kidney disease often doesn't have any noticeable symptoms.
Really? So how do we catch it early then?
That's why those regular kidney function tests we talked about are so important.
They're like our early detection system.
Exactly. They can detect those subtle changes before they become big problems.
So those tests are really important. But what if someone misses those early signs?
Well, as kidney disease progresses, you might start experiencing some symptoms.
Like what kinds of symptoms?
Things like fatigue, swelling in your legs or ankles, changes in urination patterns.
Changes in urination, what do you mean by that?
Needing to go more often or having difficulty urinating.
Okay, anything else?
Loss of appetite, nausea, persistent itching, those are all potential signs.
So if we notice any of those symptoms, it's important to see a doctor right away.
Absolutely. Don't ignore those warning signs. Early diagnosis and treatment are crucial.
This has been a fantastic deep dive into kidney health so far.
I'm glad you're finding it helpful.
Before we wrap up this part, let's quickly recap what we've learned.
Sure. What are the key takeaways?
We talked about regular kidney function tests
Right. Those are essential.
and being mindful of our medications,
Absolutely.
managing stress effectively,
Very important.
avoiding excessive alcohol,
A good rule of thumb.
and not holding our pee for too long,
Definitely listen to your body.
and recognizing those early warning signs of kidney disease.
All great points.
It's incredible how much we can do to support these vital organs.
It really is empowering.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll delve into more about kidney stones, other kidney conditions, and wrap up with some final tips for keeping those kidneys happy and healthy. And we're back for the final part of our kidney health deep dive.
Ready to wrap things up with some more kidney-boosting knowledge?
Definitely, we've covered a lot, but I'm sure there's more to learn.
For sure. So let's pick up where we left off, talking about those pesky kidney stones.
Yes, those tiny troublemakers, we know they can be painful, but what can we do to prevent them from forming in the first place?
Well, we've already talked about the importance of staying hydrated.
Right, water is key.
Exactly. Drinking plenty of water helps flush out those minerals that can crystallize and form stones.
So water is our kidney stone shield.
You could say that, but there are also some dietary changes that can help.
Like what?
Limiting your sodium intake is really important.
Sodium, why is that?
High sodium levels can contribute to stone formation.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. And you might also want to be mindful of oxalate-rich foods.
Oxalate, what's that?
It's a compound found in certain foods like spinach, beets, and nuts.
Okay, so what's the problem with oxalate?
It can bind with calcium in the urine and form stones.
Wow, I had no idea that certain foods could actually contribute to kidney stones.
It's all connected. What we eat and drink can definitely impact our kidney health.
Makes sense. Now, what about glomerulonephritis? We briefly touched on that earlier.
The filter problem.
Can you remind us what causes that again?
Well, it can be triggered by a bunch of different things. Infections, certain medications, autoimmune diseases.
Okay, so lots of potential culprits.
Right, and sometimes it's even linked to genetics.
So in some cases, the cause is a bit of a mystery.
That's right, but no matter what the cause is, the important thing is to manage the underlying condition to prevent further damage to the kidneys.
So it's all about addressing the root cause. Makes sense.
Now, how about we talk about polycystic kidney disease?
Okay, that's the one that's genetic, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's an inherited disorder that causes cysts to grow in the kidneys, which can interfere with their function.
Right. And unfortunately, there's no cure for it, is there?
Sadly, no, there isn't, but there are treatments available to manage symptoms and slow down its progression.
Okay, so while it can be challenging, there are still ways to maintain a good quality of life.
Absolutely. Regular monitoring, blood pressure control, and a healthy lifestyle can make a big difference.
That's reassuring to hear.
And sometimes medications can help manage specific symptoms.
It's amazing how much we can do to support our bodies.
It really is, and it all starts with knowledge and awareness.
Speaking of which, let's go back to UTIs for a moment.
Okay, what about them?
We know they need to be treated quickly to prevent complications, but what can we do to prevent them in the first place?
Well, staying well hydrated is a big one. It helps flush out bacteria from the urinary tract.
So water is a UTI fighter too.
You got it. And good hygiene habits are also essential. Things like wiping from front to back after using the toilet.
Okay, that makes sense.
And urinating after intercourse can also help clear out any bacteria.
So simple hygiene practices can go a long way in preventing UTIs.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps. And if you tend to get UTIs frequently, talk to your doctor.
Good advice.
They might recommend preventive measures like low-dose antibiotics or cranberry supplements.
Cranberry supplements? Really?
Yep, cranberries can actually help inhibit bacterial growth.
Huh. The more you know.
It's fascinating stuff.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of kidney health.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
We've covered so much ground.
We have, from basic kidney functions to practical tips for keeping them healthy, and even explored some different kidney conditions.
I feel like I've learned so much.
I hope so. And the key takeaway is that we all have the power to protect our kidney health through knowledge and simple lifestyle choices.
It's empowering to realize how much control we have over our own health.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, remember that this is just the beginning of your kidney health journey.
Right. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah. Be proactive. Listen to your body and partner with your healthcare provider for personalized guidance.
Great advice. Your kidneys work tirelessly for you every day, so let's all do our part to keep them healthy.
I couldn't agree more. A little knowledge and a lot of self-care can go a long way.
Well said. Thank you for joining us on this kidney health adventure.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep those kidneys happy.